Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something that might shock you. You were never supposed to chase money. That's right. You were built to attract it. But somewhere along the way, you got convinced that being tired, overworked, and broke was just part of the plan. You started believing that struggle is noble and wealth is rare. That's a lie. The truth is, money flows to the people who understand how to pull it in. See, money has a vibe. It has a rhythm. And once you learn how to tap into it, it starts showing up in ways that don't even make sense. You stop chasing it, and it starts showing up in your inbox, your phone, your bank account. Opportunities come out of nowhere. People start wanting to work with you. Doors open, but it doesn't happen by luck. It happens by alignment. There's a formula. And once you understand it, you stop surviving and start thriving. In this message, I'm going to give you 6 keys that'll shift your mindset, your energy, your habits, and your financial future. No hype, no fantasy, just truth that works if you do. So don't blink, don't scroll, don't walk away, because by the end of this, you won't just understand how to attract money, you'll know how to make it chase you. If you want money to come into your life and stay, the first thing you've got to get clear on is this: you have to believe you're worth it, period. No amount of hustle, strategy, networking, or opportunity is going to work for you if deep down you don't believe you deserve the money you're asking for. This is where most people lose the battle before it even starts. They say they want wealth. They say they want freedom. They say they want overflow. But the truth is, somewhere deep inside, they don't believe they're supposed to have it. They feel guilty. They feel small. They feel like it's for other people, people with better backgrounds, better education, better chances. And that belief, that silent lie they've been carrying, it's keeping the money out. Money responds to certainty, not arrogance, not ego, but quiet, unshakable belief. When you walk into a room and you believe you're valuable, people pick up on it. When you charge for your service and believe it's worth every penny, people respect it. When you talk about your goals like they're non-negotiable, the world starts adjusting to meet you there. But if you keep undercharging, playing small, hiding your gifts, and apologizing for wanting more, don't be surprised when money avoids you. Because money is energy, and energy doesn't flow to doubt. It flows to confidence, to clarity, to ownership. Ask yourself, when you think about being rich, what feelings come up? Do you feel empowered, or do you feel unworthy? Do you feel excited, or do you feel like you're asking for too much? That's the work. That's the wall you've got to break. Most people don't have a money problem. They have a worth problem. They don't think they're good enough, so they don't invest in themselves. They don't promote themselves. They don't demand respect. They don't walk in rooms like they belong. And what happens? The world treats them like background noise, like they're optional. Let me tell you something. You were never made to be optional. You were made to solve problems, to impact people, and to move with authority. That means you've got to get comfortable seeing yourself as someone who attracts wealth, someone who earns big, gives big, and grows big. You have to stop asking, who am I to be rich? And start declaring, who am I not to be? You're not greedy for wanting money. You're not selfish for desiring overflow. You're not wrong for aiming higher than survival. That's your birthright. That's what you're supposed to do. Because with more money comes more options, more ways to serve, give, build, and bless others. But you can't do that if you're stuck in survival mode, arguing with bills and settling for crumbs. It starts with belief. Not belief in magic, belief in yourself. That you are worth charging your value, that you are worth asking for the raise, that you are worth starting the business, that you are worth saying no to cheap energy, small prices, and broke mindsets. Once you believe you're worth money, your habits start to change. You stop showing up late. You stop doubting your voice. You stop waiting for permission. You start carrying yourself like someone who gets paid, not someone who's hoping to be picked. Belief builds posture, and posture builds results. People will pay you based on how you carry yourself. If you act like it's a favor to work with you, they'll treat it like a favor. But if you show up like your time is valuable, like your gift solves real problems, and like your presence is a privilege, you shift the room. You shift your bank account. But you can't fake it. You have to believe it first, because money goes where confidence lives. So say it out loud until your spirit catches up. I am worth money. My time is valuable. My gift makes room for me. Say it again. Say it daily. And say it like you mean it. Because once you believe it, the world won't have a choice but to believe it too. And that's when money starts coming in like it was just waiting on you to wake up. If you want to change your money, you have to change your mouth. Period. You can't speak like you're broke and expect to live like you're rich. It doesn't work that way. Words create direction. And if the words coming out of your mouth are always about lack, struggle, and fear, then your life will follow that same path. What you say daily becomes what you live permanently. Think about it. How many times have you said something like, I can't afford that. Money doesn't grow on trees. Or, I'm always broke. Now ask yourself, did saying that ever help you make more money? Of course not. All it did was cement the idea that you'll never have enough. And if you keep saying it, your brain will keep finding ways to prove it true. That's how powerful your words are. You see, the way you speak about money isn't just talk, it's a signal. It tells your mind what to look for. It tells your habits how to show up. It tells the world what you're expecting. And when you speak lack, you attract more lack. When you speak stress, you attract more stress. But when you speak abundance, even before it shows up, you start aligning your thoughts, actions, and energy with wealth. That's the key. You've got to talk like money is already here. Even if your bank account says otherwise, your mouth needs to speak like the blessing is on the way. That's not lying. That's faith. That's vision. That's calling in what belongs to you instead of repeating what's temporarily missing. Start saying things like, money flows to me easily. Say, I always attract the right opportunities. Say, I'm open to receiving more. These aren't just cute phrases. These are commands. You're telling your mind to look for solutions, not problems. You're telling your body to move with confidence, not fear. You're telling money, I'm ready for you. Now some people might roll their eyes at this. They'll say, talking different doesn't change anything. But let me ask you something. How's that negative talk working out for you? Has complaining ever deposited a check? Has saying, I'm broke, ever opened a door? No. But speaking abundance builds belief, and belief drives action, and action brings results. You talk broke, you move broke. You talk rich. You start thinking like someone who makes power moves. Your words trigger different thoughts. Different thoughts trigger different behaviors, and behaviors build your life. So watch what comes out of your mouth. Catch yourself when you start saying things like, that's too expensive, or I can't do that. Replace them with better language. Say, how can I afford that? Or, what would need to happen for me to make that work? That's how wealthy people speak. They don't shut the door on possibility. They ask better questions and leave the door open. This also means you have to stop letting broke conversations surround you. If your friends or coworkers are always complaining about money, always talking about how bad the economy is, always stuck in a victim story, you can't let that language get into your spirit. You've got to protect your ears and your energy. Speak abundance in your home. Speak it to your kids. Speak it in your business. Speak it when you're alone. Speak it even when nothing looks like it's working. That's when it matters most. Because when you talk like money is already here, you shift the atmosphere. You show up with a different glow. People start to feel your energy, and money, which is just energy, starts responding. Look, you might not be where you want to be yet, but your mouth has to go there before your life does. You don't wait to speak it once it happens. You speak it until it happens. That's how powerful words are. They're seeds. And if you keep planting broke words, you're going to keep growing broke situations. But if you start planting words of wealth, of belief, of overflow, then your harvest changes. Your expectations rise. Your behavior shifts. Your energy lifts. And before you know it, your reality starts catching up with your vocabulary. So don't just think rich. Talk rich. Talk like money is already in the room. Talk like you're in partnership with prosperity. Talk like the breakthrough is already yours. Because when you speak it with faith and move like it's real, money doesn't stay away, it comes running. If you want to attract money, stop asking, how do I make more money? And start asking, whose problem can I solve today? That's how money works. It doesn't show up because you're working hard. It doesn't come just because you need it. It comes when you solve something valuable for someone else. Money follows value, not effort. Think about that. There are people working 16-hour shifts every day and barely surviving. Then there are others working 4 hours a day and getting paid like royalty. What's the difference? One is grinding, the other is solving. One is tired, the other is targeted. This world will always have problems, and every single one of those problems is an opportunity for someone to build wealth. You don't have to be a genius. You don't have to invent something brand new. You just have to find something people already need help with and become the person who helps. You want to attract money. Get real clear on this. What pain can I fix? What frustration can I remove? What desire can I help fulfill? That's where the gold is. You don't need to chase trends. You don't need to copy what everybody else is doing. You need to listen, watch, pay attention. People are out here every day complaining, struggling, searching. They're telling you what they need. But most folks are too busy talking to hear it. If you take the time to listen and serve, the money will follow. Let's break it down. If someone's in pain, they'll pay for relief. If someone's confused, they'll pay for clarity. If someone's stuck, they'll pay to move forward. And the person who steps up confidently offers a real solution and delivers with excellence. That's the person who gets paid every single time. You don't need to be the best in the world. You just need to be better than average at solving one thing well. That one thing could be writing emails, cutting hair, editing videos, fixing pipes, designing logos, training dogs, selling homes, cleaning offices, coaching mindset. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you bring value. People aren't buying products or services. They're buying transformation. They're buying results. They're buying peace of mind. So stop trying to be cute, clever, or flashy. Just be useful. Be the person that solves the problem. When you do that, everything changes. You stop begging. You stop undercharging. You stop hoping. You start walking into rooms with confidence because you know what you bring to the table. You don't chase. You attract because value doesn't have to beg. It just has to be seen. Now let me say this loud and clear. Don't wait to be perfect. You don't need 10 years of experience, 1 million followers, or a fancy website to start solving problems. You need courage. You need to start where you are with what you have and help who you can, then build from there. Your value gets stronger the more you use it. The more you show up, the more you improve. But it all starts with the decision to be a problem solver instead of a problem complainer. Stop asking, why am I not making more money? Start asking, am I solving anything that matters to people? Because if the answer is no, That's the fix. You want to become a money magnet, then make yourself hard to replace. Make people say, I need her on my team, or A's the one who gets it done. That's how you build income. That's how you build demand. That's how you build wealth. You don't need luck. You don't need to be born into money. You just need to become a person who solves one meaningful problem consistently, professionally, and with results. Because money doesn't go to the loudest voice. It goes to the most valuable one. And the second you realize your job isn't to chase cash, it's to chase solutions, everything shifts. You solve problems. Money solves itself. You can't grow wealthy thinking the same way you did when you were broke. And more importantly, you can't grow wealthy if everyone around you is still thinking broke. If you're serious about attracting money, one of the most powerful things you can do is this: change who you're around. Start spending time with people who think different, talk different, and move different. People who have money energy. Let's be honest, some of y'all are stuck, not because you're lazy, not because you lack talent, but because your environment is a cage. You're around people who complain more than they plan. People who would rather argue about why money is evil than learn how to earn it. People who laugh at your dreams and stay broke with a smile like it's a badge of honor. That's not your tribe. That's your anchor. Money thinkers don't sit around blaming the world. They ask, how do we fix it? They don't waste hours gossiping. They're busy building. They don't think small. They think systems. They think solutions. They think scale. You get around that kind of mindset, and you can't help but level up. And here's the thing, it's not even about how much money someone has right now. It's about how they think about money. Do they think it's possible? Do they believe it can be multiplied? Do they understand how to manage it, grow it, invest it? That's money thinking. That's what you want rubbing off on you. Because energy is contagious. You hang around 4 complainers, you'll be the 5th. You hang around 4 grinders, you'll be the 5th. The people you listen to the most shape how you talk, how you feel, and how you move. That's why you've got to be intentional about your circle. It might not be easy. You might have to distance yourself from people you love. You might have to step back from some conversations, say no to some outings, stop showing up in rooms that make you shrink. It'll feel lonely at first. But let me tell you, elevation always requires separation. That doesn't mean you think you're better than anybody. It just means you know where you're going. And you can't take everybody with you. If you don't know any money thinkers in real life, then find them online. Watch their interviews, read their books, join their communities, listen to their podcasts. Money thinkers leave breadcrumbs everywhere. You don't have to know them personally to let their mindset get into your spirit. Just start listening and learning. The more you do, the more your own beliefs start to change. You stop asking, can I afford this? And start asking, how can I create this? You stop waiting for a raise and start thinking about your own value. You stop settling and start stretching. You get uncomfortable in the best way because you start realizing how much is really possible. Money thinkers challenge your excuses. They hold up a mirror. They remind you that comfort never made anybody rich. And when you're around that kind of pressure, the good kind, you start rising. Your conversations get sharper. Your habits get tighter. Your goals get bigger. And money starts moving in your direction because you're finally thinking like someone who can handle it. So don't be afraid to outgrow people. Don't feel guilty for wanting more. Don't let anybody convince you that ambition is a bad thing. If they don't support your growth, they're not your people, they're your past. Get around people who light a fire in you, who speak life into your goals, who clap when you win and correct you when you slack. People who are chasing dreams and building futures. That's the energy that attracts opportunity. That's the room where deals happen. That's the space where money flows. You want to attract more money? Start by upgrading your environment. Money follows mindset. Mindset follows exposure. And exposure comes from who you're around. So check your circle. Are they pouring into your potential or poisoning your purpose? Because at the end of the day, the quickest way to change your income is to change your influence. If you want to attract money, you've got to start acting like the person who already has it. Not in ego, not in showing off, but in discipline. That's the key right there. Because the truth is, people who get rich and stay rich don't play around with their time, their habits, or their energy. They move with intention. They're not out here winging life, hoping something magical happens. They have a plan and they stick to it. They respect structure. They show up even when they don't feel like it. That's the kind of movement that pulls money toward you. Most folks are waiting to feel rich before they move like it. They say things like, once I make it, then I'll start waking up early, then I'll start budgeting, then I'll start taking care of myself. No, that's backward. You don't wait to get the life. You live the mindset first, and then the life catches up. Discipline is the down payment on success. Every single person you admire, every wealthy person you've ever looked up to, they built it on consistent, daily, disciplined action. That means you can't afford to keep living like money doesn't matter. You can't keep spending like you're not building something. You can't keep snoozing alarms, skipping days, making excuses, and hoping money magically shows up. You attract what you're ready to manage. If your life is in chaos, money won't stick around. If your calendar is a mess, your budget's a joke, and your habits are weak. Even if you get money, you'll lose it. Discipline is what keeps the money after it shows up. You've got to ask yourself, how would the wealthy version of me act today? Would I sleep in or get up with purpose? Would I scroll social media for 2 hours or study something that improves my skill? Would I blow every dollar on distractions or invest in something that grows? That's what moving like you're already rich means. It means you hold yourself to a higher standard before the reward even arrives. You walk different when you know what you're building. You speak different when you respect your future. You stop entertaining nonsense. You stop doing things just to fit in. You stop chasing comfort and start chasing growth, because you know every decision you make is either feeding your future or stealing from it. Discipline isn't about being perfect. It's about being faithful. It's about doing what needs to be done, even on the days you don't feel like it. It's about mastering your morning, protecting your energy, staying focused when everyone else is distracted. That's the real flex. That's the real money magnet. Because money loves order. It flows into hands that know how to manage it. It grows with people who know how to multiply, and none of that happens without discipline. Don't let this world fool you. The loudest person in the room isn't the richest. The most consistent one is. The one who's been stacking small wins every day. The one who's been saving when others were spending. The one who's been building while others were partying. That's the one who ends up living free. That's the one who doesn't just make money, they attract it without even chasing. So start now. Wake up earlier. Set goals. Keep promises to yourself. Stop negotiating with laziness. Do the work even when nobody's clapping. Be the person who does the right thing in private so the reward shows up in public. Because when you move like you're already rich, with discipline, with purpose, with focus, the universe starts opening doors. People start seeing you differently. Opportunities come your way not because you begged for them, but because you became the kind of person who's ready. You don't need to fake it till you make it. You need to discipline it till you earn it. Because at the end of the day, The version of you who gets rich isn't a fantasy. It's just the version of you who stopped waiting to get serious and started moving like you already were. Let's get one thing straight right now. You will never attract what you don't expect. If you wake up every day thinking, I'm probably not gonna make it, or money never comes to me, then guess what? That's exactly what you're going to get. Life doesn't hand you what you want. It gives you what you're ready for, and you show you're ready by expecting it boldly, daily, without flinching. Expectation is a magnet. It pulls things into your life. It shapes how you speak, how you move, and how you respond. When you expect money to show up, you start walking different. You speak with more confidence. You take chances. You show up in the room like someone who belongs there. And that energy, people feel it. Opportunities feel it. Even money feels it. But if you're always walking around with doubt, always preparing for the worst, always saying, well, knowing my luck, you're repelling the very thing you claim to want. You're creating a future based on fear, not faith. See, most people don't get what they want because they secretly believe they can't have it. They say things like, I hope something good happens, but behind that hope is fear. They don't expect good. They're bracing for disappointment. And when you live like that, always bracing, always doubting, always playing it safe, money doesn't feel invited. It feels rejected. You've got to start living like you know money is on its way. Not because you're lucky, not because you have it all figured out, but because you believe, because you've planted the right seeds. You've been showing up. You've been doing the work. And now you're expecting the harvest. That's how you move. That's how you move different. That's how you attract blessings without begging for them. You start expecting the call, expecting the payment, expecting the next opportunity, not in desperation, in confidence. You start your day like something good is about to happen today. You go to sleep thinking, tomorrow has something for me. That's not wishful thinking, that's intentional alignment. And don't let anybody shame you for thinking like that. People will call you delusional for having high expectations when you're still struggling. Let them talk. The only people who mock confidence are the ones still stuck in doubt. You're not arrogant. You're aware that your life can't rise higher than your level of belief. Now here's the powerful part. When you expect money to show up, you start making moves like someone who's expecting. You prepare, you organize, you make room. You don't sit around idle. You move in faith. You build systems. You improve your skills. You answer emails faster. You follow up better. You speak up when you used to stay quiet. Why? Because you know money is coming and you don't want to miss it when it knocks. Think about it like this. If someone told you a millionaire was coming to your house tomorrow at noon to offer you a deal, you'd be ready, right? You'd clean the house, dress right, have your pitch prepared. You'd be sitting there before noon, ready to receive. That's how you treat your life when you expect money. You prepare in advance like it's guaranteed, not optional. People who expect nothing get nothing. People who expect everything take responsibility for it. They don't just hope, they prepare. They don't just dream, they plan. That's the formula. You speak it, believe it, act on it, and expect it until it shows up. This isn't about entitlement, it's about alignment. You're not saying, the world owes me. You're saying, I'm ready to receive what I've been working for. That's a different posture. That's a different mindset. That's what draws the money in. So from now on, stop saying, if it happens, and start saying, when it happens, replace, I hope I can, with I know I will. Stop thinking money is avoiding you. Start believing it's looking for you, and you're making it easy to find you. Wake up every day expecting, not begging, not worrying, expecting. Because when you walk like it's already done, the money will show up like it's been waiting for you all along.